Guys, a Bitcoin OG, possibly Satoshi Nakamoto. His name is Adam Back, and he actually said Bitcoin might be $100,000 before the next halving. Now, why do I say he's possibly one of the Satoshis or part of the Satoshi team? I think the people that are most central around that Bitcoin Satoshi Nakamoto debate are Adam Back, Nick Szabo, Dorian Nakamoto, and Hal Finney. And remember, Homeland Security did say they met with the four Satoshis, and that's four people. Obviously, Hal Finney is dead. Nick Szabo and Adam Back are still here. They haven't really said anything, but they've always been in the conversation. And Dorian Nakamoto, I don't know if he was in the development of it. I don't think he was, but he did live down the street from Hal Finney, and they did take the inspiration of Satoshi Nakamoto from Dorian Nakamoto. So those could be the four Satoshis that Homeland Security was talking about. It actually makes perfect sense. Or it could have been like Nick Szabo, Adam Back, Hal Finney, and someone else. I mean, Finney is going to be one of the four because he was the first person to receive a Bitcoin transaction. And I do believe those four were pretty close. But one of the four, possibly one of the four Satoshis, did actually say that Bitcoin was going to reach 100,000. Of course, he probably is guessing like everyone else. I guess he could move the Bitcoin wallet and cause a collapse, but I don't think he's actually going to based on what he actually said. So Adam Back actually said that Bitcoin will reach 100,000 by the next halving, which is April 2024. And what he actually says has a bit of weight, obviously, because a lot of people listening to him. So basically, he's betting 0.01 of a Bitcoin. So I don't think he's too confident in his own prediction because, being like, if he was one of the original Satoshis, he probably has a lot of Bitcoin. And betting only 1/100th of a Bitcoin, I'm not really sure. The reason he thinks it is because he thinks Bitcoin's price was suppressed during the last cycle by a series of unfortunate events that kept Bitcoin from soaring beyond its all-time high of around $69,000. And obviously he's mentioned COVID, QE, economic disruption, which is the Russian war plus the inflation, plus crypto DeFi cascading liquidations. And of course, there's like 3AC, Celsius, BlockFi, Genesis. And of course, he failed to mention FTX and Terra Luna, which were the main culprits in that. But I think he's also missing out on a main point, which is the QE actually helped Bitcoin because it put money in people's hands. And when you put money in people's hands, they have extra money, so they'll buy speculative assets. He is right that the interest rates are actually keeping Bitcoin from shooting up. But that's just kind of like that's another reason altogether. I think when people get comfortable with the economy, when interest rates start coming down next year, I do think it's going to go up, but I don't think it's going to hit 100,000 between now and the halving. And he actually thinks because of those things, there's going to be a delayed correction before the halving event. So he's actually mentioning things in the past like November 2013, December 2017, was a 16.7x. He's talking about like 2 or 3 cycles ago. Basically, like December 2017 to November 2021 is only a 3.5x. So he's thinking it should be way more than 3 to 5x. But I kind of disagree with him because each successive halving will be like, in terms of ROI, would be less than the last one because you can't just go up parabolically forever, obviously. There's going to be a cap on how much you can go up just by, like common sense and logic reasons. So the thing is, like, he actually thinks like $69,000 was not it for last cycle, and it can keep going up, and that's why there's going to be like a delayed pump. So, I mean, he's looking at like 330,000, and he thinks that should have actually been the 2021 pump. And he's blaming COVID and QE for that. But I don't think you can actually blame QE for that because QE actually helped put people's money in crypto right now. Now, eventually it killed us because the QE for like 10 years essentially resulted in massive inflation rates. But at the time, QE actually helped us with the money. So DeFi, rug pulled liquidations, bankruptcies, delayed cycle high, and still on. So he actually thinks it could be a delayed cycle high from last cycle. I obviously don't believe that. And I think Bitcoin will reach 50,000 by next April, mainly because it will take about 50,000 to offset mining costs, if not more. And if you don't reach 50,000 by next halving, a lot of miners will actually drop out. I mean, his reasoning is on mathematical principles about like each halving being the same as the last one. But as we've seen in maturing markets, as a market matures, the ROI for each successive halving is going to be less than the one before it. So while Adam Back is extremely smart and he's the Blockstream CEO, and there are many, many rumors that he was one of the 4 Satoshis out there. Now, I can't obviously confirm or deny that rumor, but just for the fact that Homeland Security supposedly said they met with 4 Satoshis, he could easily be one of them. And one of the other reasons is like he actually invented Hashcash, and Hashcash algorithm was actually later incorporated into Bitcoin mining. So that's another clue that he might have been one of the original Bitcoin developers. So if one of the original Bitcoin developers is saying that Bitcoin can go to $100,000 before the next halving, that will definitely carry some weight. I don't agree with his reasons, and I don't agree with his economic analysis. Because, like I said, I actually think QE kind of helped us. The other stuff really did hurt us. And it will take the interest rates going down for Bitcoin to actually reach $100,000. And I don't think the interest rates are going to go down fast enough for next April to reach $100,000. So there's a lot of stuff that actually is still going into this. But it's interesting to see what Adam Back has actually said. He obviously believes in Bitcoin. And I think I don't know how much he has. He probably has a lot of Bitcoin, especially if he's one of the original guys in Bitcoin. And he's definitely hoping that it goes up. So Adam Back, obviously, like you can believe him if you want. I hope what he says is true because it would be incredible for both this channel and my personal investment if Bitcoin went to 100,000 before the next halving. But I don't quite believe that. I'm looking at a more modest $50,000 before the next halving. I do think PayPal will actually play into this because this is the first major company that's actually creating a coin and a substantial coin. Yes, it's a stable coin, so it's actually not true crypto, but that's otherwise. Like they're kind of like getting into the market and they will be using blockchain, albeit Ethereum blockchain, for their transactions. And the thing is, like, I definitely think they're going to go multi-chain sooner rather than later because Ethereum, we all know that like when the chain gets busy, it's basically unusable. So transacting that stablecoin, if it's only in Ethereum, will be a disaster. Imagine like PayPal with like 2-week transfer times during the height of a bull run and like $300 fees. No one is going to use that, not for domestic and not for cross-border. So, for those coins, for those networks that actually have USDT, USDC on them, I think they actually can be a big boom. So you're looking at Tron, Solana, like Atom and like others. I think HBAR might have one of the stable coins. I'm not exactly sure, one of the big ones, but a lot of the layer 1s and layer 2s that are much, much faster than Ethereum could actually see a lot of PayPal transaction money coming soon their way. So if you have HBAR, you have Solana, you have, Cardano, you have Tron, you have any of those, you could actually see like PayPal customers onto your platform. And that could be a real way for you to promote your platform to those PayPal customers during that time. Because if they like transfer money through you, they'll get a little bit more familiar with your ecosystem and with your blockchain. They might actually be interested to explore more of your blockchain. And that's when you can actually get them with like all these dApps that you are actually building. So PayPal is entry into the market in this way is very, very important. I know that PayPal trades like 4 cryptos already, but like this entry actually creating a stablecoin is a whole new different level and a whole new different step in involvement for them to actually come in. And I do think there will be some money coming in from PayPal in the next bull run. So that actually might feed into Adam Back's decision as well. He also thinks one of the trigger events for the $100,000 price is the ETF. I sort of agree with them for that, and it won't just be one ETF, because if they agree to pass one ETF, they're most likely going to agree to pass all the ETFs. And those, that can just definitely be an extra pump for everyone. Like I think the Grayscale one's probably going to come through in that. I think ARK Invest. I think, like BlackRock, and all those actually have a deadline right before the halving. So Adam Back might actually be right about that, but that would be one hell of an incredible pump for all of crypto. And I really, really, really hope he's right. But even with those Bitcoin ETFs, my guess is it's probably not going to pump to like 100,000 before the halving. I would say maybe 60, 70,000 before the halving, maybe 50, 60,000, something like that before the halving. After the halving, once that supply shock comes in, the big guys are going to want the miners to stay profitable because they're not going to let Bitcoin fall as the hash rate rises. So I do think at that point, they will actually pump it past $100,000. And that's where that prediction will actually come true. But remember, he could be one of the 4 Satoshis that Homeland Security supposedly met with. And he is a big deal in the crypto community, so his words will carry some weight. And that itself might inspire some FOMO when the time comes for people to buy in. I mean, he has over 500,000 Twitter followers, but more than that, he's a well-known person in the crypto space, and he's a well-respected person in the crypto space who many people think is possibly Satoshi Nakamoto. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.